Hello, and welcome back. So as you've probably guessed by now, this whole series is pre-recorded. It was such a big job that I wasn't sure if I would ever complete it. So before I released anything, I thought I would get it finished. Otherwise, it ran the risk of me getting, 10, 15, 20 episodes in, and then deciding it was too mammoth a task and giving up, and that would not be very much fun for you. The reason I'm saying this is because today was the day that Stan Lee died. This is the 12th of November 2018. So it's a sad day. I never was particularly a comic book person, but I did love the cartoons and obviously the Marvel films. And I'm going to miss his input and also his cameos. So anyway, tears and things. So I guess we dedicate this episode to the memory of Stan Lee and the fabulous comic book worlds that he created. They've certainly enriched my life, and I'm sure they have enriched yours. Okay, on that slightly maudlin note, we are about ready to fire up this baby. So the first thing to do is get some power hooked up so that the whole thing stops flashing, because that is very annoying. We're going to need some substations to link all the bits together, and we're also going to need some substations to power up some of the machines on the front row. Okay, so I think that's all of that. So these are, there's various builds down here which have too many inserters to be able to support. I think it's only the coil machines down here. Yeah, it's the coil and the red circuit machines. Okay, so we require substations to hit all these inserters. All the others, there's one. Yeah, and there's one. Gonna have to go through all this quite carefully. Okay, so this needs a substation as well. This needs a substation. I think we can sneak one in there. Yep. And there. Okay. So let's do the same on this side. Okay, so we have this substation. Then that seems to be covered. Those are covered. That's it. Okay, then we need some substations to make sure that the whole of the center of the build is powered up. And I'm not sure the best way to do this, so I'm just going to put down some for now. That good old unit. Okay, that seems to have got everything. I'm also going to shove in a load of logistics bots. $500 I don't think is going to be enough. There you are, that's nearly 1,000. There you are. Okay, so to get this going, the highest volume material is steel. Okay. So we will do this with 1 box per carriage. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a duplicating provider. So I'm mocking this up as far as I can. Okay, then let's take the steel. There we are. Okay, so the next thing we want to put in, what do we have here? This is copper ore. Cool. And then I think we just have 2 carriages worth of copper ore. There's copper. This is iron ore. Okay, there's probably something sensible here I could be doing to do with flight paths, flight distances. Yeah, I think I need to swap the copper and the iron over. Okay, let's take that and take that. There we are. Okay, so there's a reason for this. Let's put the copper ore down here. Okay, and put the iron ore here. Okay, the reason is the iron smelters are here and here. They're off to one side, whereas the copper smelters are both sides, so this is sort of shortest path. Okay, then the next two, we need a, where are we? This one is currently stone. I think this needs to be the coal. Okay, and then this needs to be stone. So let's throw some stone in up. Yep, stone in here. And there we are. And then coal in here. Awesome. And then the last thing is to pick up the products. Okay, and I'm going to use some voiding requesters for that. So one there, one there. This is going to request furnaces. Right, and they stacked 50, so I think we can request 2,000, 51, 152, 253, 354. 2,400 would be a full chest, so 2,300 to avoid filling the chest. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look and see what's going on. Okay, so things are all buffering up. What we don't have is fluid. We don't have the petroleum. Okay, so there's two ways to do this. One is to try and thread a pipe down and through all this mess. I don't think that's going to work. So let's rotate that around. What we can do instead, I think we can get away without that single pole. Put that there. Okay. This isn't going to work very well. Okay, let's try this the other way around. So we can put the pole back, back there. There's obviously a lot of buffering up going on. Okay, that's one tile short of the end. Okay. Okay, and this is always one tile short, so let's see if we can... Yeah, there's no neat way to do this. Okay, so let's take it out the other way again. I think this hits fewer poles. Yeah. There we go. Okay, and we can put in a fluid provider here. Do I have fluid providers down on... No, I don't. Okay, so that can go, that can go. And the fluid provider is there. Okay. Okay, so we are going to provide petroleum. Great, so now it's producing plastic. Everything started moving. Okay, so we're going to try and do a similar thing here, where we're going to thread through some pipes. Okay. Okay, and then the fluid provider can go here. Petroleum. Great. So we should now be starting to increase our production of red circuits. Here it goes. And with that, we should be starting to produce some furnaces. Okay, so I'm noticing that some of these red circuit machines are very much having red lights. What is this out of? Plastic. Okay. Okay. This plastic machine down here isn't doing anything. Now it is. If the build is running on half plastic, that would explain it. Okay, let's check how we're doing for Logibots. I put in roughly 1,000. And we're using about 500 of them. Okay, so a 500 Logibot build is not bad. I'm quite happy with that. Okay. So this machine here is out of power. Oh no, it's out of logistics. Let's put one bot over there. Okay, and this had red lights on it. So let's have a look. What is it out of? Steel. Okay. Okay, we have an issue here with that, and it needs a substation to power up. There we go. Okay, where else can I see red lights? I can't. Okay, so in principle, if this was running at full speed, we should be producing 315 furnaces a minute. $312 is close enough for me. We have to be producing over 300 for the build to be working. Okay, that's where we fix the inserter, I think. So let's let that work through, and then we'll get our 1 minute average. Okay. So we have a consumption of, and let's let that step all the way up. What I'm interested in particularly is the consumption and production of red circuits. So at the moment we are producing 1.6K, sorry. We are consuming 1.4, but I would like to see this balanced out because I want to know if I can take out this machine. Okay, so our production's fallen off. Okay, so we burnt through a buffer of something. Okay, and this is stone brick. Okay, and all the stone brick furnaces are going full time. Yeah, it's definitely the stone brick. And looking here, we're requesting 525 of them, and we are just not getting the stone bricks in. Now, what's down here? Again, it's stone bricks. Okay. And the stone bricks machines are going full pelt. Okay, let's do a max rate on the entire thing. Okay, we are down 6 stone brick makers. So rather than 3 each side, we needed 6 each side. So let's just take the stone brick. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. So that should be enough stone brick. So we needed 12 stone brick smelters and I put down 6. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so this is now half a stone brick smelter over, which is fine. Yep, that's absolutely fine. So then we are 100 red circuits over, which is 0.9 of a machine. So I'm wondering if we can kill one red circuit machine, this one, and keep everything running. But let's have a look. Okay, so we are now up there. Let's watch everything ramp up. Because what I want to get is this consumption number. I want to see if this consumption number is actually where I would expect it. And I want to see if this production number is where we would expect it as well. So it's the red circuits that I'm really interested in. Okay, we're just waiting for this final tail to run off. Okay, so 1.6 versus 1.5, we're slightly overproducing red circuits. Okay, cool. And this machine on its own produces about 100. Okay, so the simplest way to disable that is to take out this Roboport, because it's no longer servicing there. Okay. So now we have the Roboport not covering that assembler. We can now let the rough buffers all run dry. And check that this is still producing, so it's now capped out at 315. This should slide once we run lower on red circuits. There we are. We've hit the buffer. We've chewed through the buffer of red circuits now. Red circuits take a long time to make, so it takes a while for those buffers to alter. I really need this to have run for an entire minute to see if this number moves significantly. See if what I want to know is, does it stay above 300, basically. Okay. Okay, so we're now matching the reds with 1.5 both sides, which we weren't doing before. It was 1.6 versus 1.5 before. Okay, I think that's there. So the only thing I can really do with this build now is to leave it running for a while. And for a while, I mean for like 10 minutes, half an hour. This is consuming 3.1k of steel. So what we need now is our steel build, and we have the numbers for that. So to support this particular size of furnace build, we're looking at 45 iron plate smelters and 54 steel smelters in a single builds together. So that's quite a hefty steel build, but it's sort of 1-to-1. So there's one steel build for one of these builds. And I need to decide whether I'm going to do it as a shuttle type thing, or basically how I'm going to glue them together. So yeah, this is quite stable, isn't it? So one option is to do it like here with a steel train. And so we would have, for example, the steel build located here, and we would literally just take a train backwards and forwards between the two builds. There's nothing inherently wrong with that as an idea. The other option would be if we could then get rid of this line entirely and shuffle the build up. We would put two half builds for the steel either side, and then bridge the steel over with some inserters. The problem with that as an idea, so that would be 45, 54 are the two builds, so that's like 46, 54 divided by 2, that's 46 becomes 23. 23 smelters plus 54 by 2 is 25, 27 steel smelters. So they're quite small builds, and we could put one of those above and one below this, and we could use inserters to shuffle the material over the gap. And that would probably work. Then we'd have a single coherent build. We would be able to get rid of this middle lane. Yeah, let's look at the production. We're still at over 300. So I am calling this as a working build. Let's take some of this out. There we go. Okay, is there anything that's consistently orange? So I think we have probably one extra brick smelter. Maybe not. I wouldn't like to delete one. I think it's gonna, yeah. We have 1 or 2 copper. Let's do one more rate, max rate. I want to see the gap between the copper production and the copper consumption. Okay, so this can produce 3237. It can consume 3250. So we are very slightly short on copper according to those numbers. However, we clearly have 2 smelters which are unused. And everything is working at reasonably full speed. So my gut is that it's this coil. So we have a net too much coil, which means we have a net too much plate. Let's have a look. So we are consuming 4.7k of plate, and we are producing 5.2. So that's the thing. So 4.7 to 5.2, that is roughly 2 smelters, because each smelter is roughly 200-ish. Let's ask a smelter how fast it runs. How fast do you run? Yeah, 275. So we probably can delete 1 or 2 copper smelters. I'm going to do that while you're not here, because it's not really critical to making the build work. Just for the sake of the maths, this is 13 smelters wide. So even if I moved all of this down onto these rows, because I could put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could make the build slightly wider by 3 machines. So that would then give me 3 plus 13s. Excuse me. So that would be 16 wide. But 16 wide still is nowhere near the half of 54 wide I would need to be able to bridge the steel directly into this build. So we're going to have to find some other way to move the steel in. Okay, well, I've talked enough. I'm going to end this episode here. RIP Stanley, you will be forever remembered by me. And we can tick one build off the list. I will see you again soon. Thanks very much for watching. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and next time we will be building a steel array. Bye-bye.